have a large rear end.
A large rear end, ladies and gentlemen.
No, all crazy superstars. Oh, no. All crazy. Gilbert should have showed up when Belzer was here. That would have been funny if Belzer showed up again and Gilbert showed up again. Belzer would have had a heart attack.
Listen, what are you doing here, babe? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
It's like, this is my show. Yeah,
Yeah, right. Yeah. This is my show.
Yeah, my show. Yeah, sure.
We can't have two comedians on at the same time. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, nice shirt if you're... Yeah, sure.
Right.
Yeah, nice haircut if you have... Yeah.
Is there anybody Gilbert can't do? He comes in, he can do every comedian.
Yeah. Who else do you do? What are the comedians? I know you do Leno.
Reagan was in the news today. You know what gets me? You know what really burns me up?
What burns you up about Ronald Reagan, Jay?
Yeah, it's the whole Reagan thing. You know, here he is. I mean, he's an old guy, right? Okay. Now, and it's Ollie North. I mean, come on. What is this Ollie North talking about? I mean, they say the country.
That's right. I wrote down my, what's that bald guy on Comic Relief? The one who talks like...
Oh, that guy, Stephen Wright.
Yeah, I wrote down some of his material. I can now do a Stephen Wright impression. I'll do that later.
Stephen Wright
Dog. And you see him walk into a room, and he's smiling. Is he smiling to all of the people in the room? Or does that look like a...
Oh, that was cute.
If a tree falls...
What? Oh, this is...
I got some mic... If a tree falls in the woods, does that mean that everyone can hear it? If nobody's in the woods?
Oh, please.
But I actually wrote down some material, though, that he does. It's just as lame, though. You know what I mean?
I have a comb with no teeth. I can't brush my hair. I have no toothpaste. I have nothing to put on my tooth.
I have a comb with no teeth, but my dentist says he can put some caps on it. I'm working on it. Yeah, you don't see Stephen Wright doing too many interviews and stuff. You don't see him in interview situations. Is that on purpose?
I think so. What are you going to interview him about?
Yeah, exactly. Because he stays in character, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to interview a guy who sounds like he's going to the bathroom in his pants.
I don't have a house. I live in an apartment.
You know, whenever I fill out those applications. whenever I...
Now, Gilbert, what, do you already know the joke? Now, stop that.
Gilbert's got it all memorized. I can levitate birds, but nobody cares. I just went to the store and got a Ouija surfboard. And then he just leaves it there.
I guess this guy must be hysterical. We're all laughing.
Yeah, but it's only funny when I do it. There was nobody laughing at Comic Relief. Hey, when I have to fill out those applications that say, in case of emergency, notify, I always write notified doctor. I don't want them calling my sister or my mother. What's she gonna do? All right. I like to wear extra medium. It's not like medium. It's something a little extra.
I don't care about the homeless. I'm just doing this show because my manager got me on it.
And my last two Letterman appearances bombed. You know, if Jim Jensen keels over. If Jim Jensen keels over in a hallway and no one hears him, doesn't make a thud. You know, 24-hour banking, I don't have time for that. But seriously, I went to my friend's house. He had a circular driveway. I couldn't get out. I just bought a decaffeinated coffee table.
It has no teeth.
But Jim Jensen has one. I asked my agent how I did at my last letter and appearance.
He said better than Jim Jensen.
I saw an old lady with a fur coat. I said, what kind of animal is it? Whatever it was, it must have been huge. Jim Jensen wore a fur coat.
Jim Jensen had a fur coat. It had to take a week off for depression.
I saw a guy the other day. He looked just like Jim Jensen.
Only he was working.
Yeah, and he seemed pretty happy, this guy. He wasn't depressed over different things.
So it couldn't have been Jim Jensen.
If Jim Jensen's son died in a hang gliding accident and no one was around to hear it.
Oh, that's not nice. That's not nice. The loss of a child. Come on.
All right, okay. You know, it's just that my last 2 lit a bit of... Everyone thought I was brilliant for a while. It's kind of hard to deal with now. I'm not going anywhere. So I did some Jim Jensen's child humor. I see it works. You know, to be so shocking for Sam Kinison. I thought maybe if I did it. But I guess you got to scream.
You know, it's Jim Jensen with his kid, right? Huh? Did that burn you up?
Yeah, it really did. Does he have teeth? Boy, he can really put a crowd to sleep, that guy.
I'm telling you.
It's a good thing Belzer isn't here. He'd be defending him.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, right. Yeah,
something really.
Yeah, you can't talk
Yeah,
about
you don't
that.
make fun of, like, children and stuff.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
Yeah, like that's real funny. Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, naked women. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Sure. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Right.
His wife's movie, Young Lady Chatterley 2,
Let's get that.
is in the video stores now. I saw it this weekend.
I'll get a copy of it this week, and we'll play it on the air. Some of the better parts. Belzer's wife orgasming over ugly gardeners. If I call my agent and no one answers the phone, does that mean he's dropped me as a client? Stephen Wright has a nervous breakdown to the next comic relief, you know, and just starts muttering into the microphone. Jim Jensen, that son of a bitch. All I know is I got to do a bad deal with that guy, man. He's just a real bummer. If I go to a party and Jim Jensen's there and he's doing coke, who do I call? The police or the Channel 2 or the Channel 2 action?
Uh-oh.
If my voice suddenly drops out and I'm still talking, does that mean that I'm not talking and nobody hears me?
Who are you supposed to call? The police or the
Or Jim Jensen.
What is
Or
it? The trouble?
Called the troubleshooter's line. I once called the troubleshooter's line. Had no teeth. 24-hour banking. I've got no use for it. Anyway, what was I doing? Oh, playing cuts from my bad record album.
Yes.
I put out a record a couple of years ago,
yeah?
but it's real bad. Real embarrassing.
Well, Gilbert will be able to commiserate.
I'll be the judge of that.
You know, everything doesn't work, does it?
But I was listening to The Dirty Beaver. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
June asks,
I don't remember.
she asks Beaver if he washes behind his genitals. And it's pretty funny.
Oh, boy.
If he watches behind his Gentiles.
His gentle genitals. Let me see here.
Gentle Genitals, new on NBC.
This was Fred's Yoko thing.
Yeah, this was good. Well, the impression was good.
The impression was good. All right. Well, that didn't hold up. I told people never go out and buy this. It sucked.
Gilbert is spasming.
Well, here's one funny bit.
Oh, okay.
This is...
We're going to save your life, Gilbert. Put on something funny, quick.
Must have spent an hour doing that piano thing, so it sounded like the end of Sgt. Pepper's. And meanwhile, it was all for nothing. The thing sucked. And we're sitting here in a studio wasting, valuable, precious money and time.
Out of the Canadian backwoods, a friend of a living legend, singing the best of Neil Young. It's Neil Young's Cat. That's right, singing the best of Neil Young's Cat. Singing all of your favorites like Heart of Gold and...
If Neil Young's cat called Stephen Wright's manager,
Would he answer?
but he answered the phone. But unlike Stephen Wright, who got unfunny as time went on, I got funnier as
Yeah,
time.
goodness.
But quite frankly, I've listened to tapes of our Washington radio show. It was very funny. It's just this record sucked because it was put out in a week,
Yeah.
and I just had to take stuff real quick that I could think up and just throw it on a record album. There's no way to make a record album.
No.
The record album would have been funny stuff from Washington. Think how great that'd be 8 years from now. 8 years ago to have recorded all that stuff onto a disc
Sure.
and then be listening to it now. It would have been great. That was my concept, but didn't work out.
Didn't work out.
Well, the radio station wouldn't sell me any of my own material. It's really nice.
Oh, yeah. That's rather sweet of them.
That's a kooky thing. You talk on the radio. They have this blank airspace. You talk on it, and they own it.
Yeah. You fill it up, they
Yeah,
own it.
They own it. It's a great little system. In fact, when I signed my contract here, I tried to buy my own material. I own the material, but I don't own the recording of the material.
There's a
There's a
loophole.
catch-22, yeah. So I own the material. So if we went into a studio and re-recorded like this crummy album, then we would own it. But anything we said on the air, I technically own.
But they own, too.
But, well, they only own it if I play the actual radio version of it.
Right, but so far that's all there is.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I have.
Tape it, but
Right,
But if you ask them for it, you can't have it.
right. Oh, I got to take a break. Gilbert Gottfried's here. Just dropped in.
Just dropped in.
Unannounced.
I just dropped in unannounced. Gilbert Gottfried, unannounced.
All right, we'll be back right after this. Jim Jensen was in it.
And no one was there to hear it.
Nobody was in the woods and could hear it. What would happen? See, we're writing new material for Stephen Wright. An all Jim Jensen thing.
I think it's going to finally break Stephen of this little...
He'll come out like, "Hi, good evening, everybody. I've stopped talking like
doing
that. I realize how stupid I sounded." I realize that I don't have to talk like this. It's annoying cracks in my voice. What was I saying?
I don't know, because that's so distracting when you talk like Stephen Wright.
Yeah, it really commands your attention. I was talking about something. Anybody remember? Oh, Philadelphia. Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Some article.
So this morning zoo is now beating us, but not beating the other zookeeper, but nobody else's ratings went down. And I quite frankly don't care as long as I've got my big... I mean, I didn't suffer. I mean, we didn't suffer as a show.
We didn't
still
lose anything to either of
No, in fact, we went up in the ratings.
people, yes.
Our ratings just went up. But I don't know how the rating service explains that all of these new radio listeners now exist.
That another station can come into the market, get a high rating share, any listeners.
Right, and it would only and they're big with teens, and the other zookeeper is big with teens, but nobody lost any teens. If all the teens are listening and nobody listens,
Are they all on a hang gliding accent?
if all the teens in Philadelphia got in a hang-gliding accident, would Jim Jensen be more depressed, or is he about as depressed as you can get? I still want to know what Jim Jensen was doing in the halls of CBS that everyone was afraid he'd start doing on the air. I gotta find out. We could, I know how we could find out.
You know somebody over there?
Yeah.
All right.
I know a guy who works there.
It's pretty wild when the other anchors have to come on and say, Jim Jensen is not with us tonight.
He's in the halls naked. He's in the halls with a woman's panties on his head.
He had become erratic and we could not allow him on the air.
Hey, I have a thought for a pick-me-up. Why doesn't Jim Jensen call Dean Martin and play an airplane crash over it?
That Dino's still working.
That's right.
Why can't he get it together?
How come if Dean Martin's son goes into a side of a mountain in an airplane accident, how come he's still working? And Jim Jensen
has to walk through always naked. Wearing panties on his head.
Like a
I used to walk through the halls naked with panties on my head.
But you did it to defeat the Nazis, right?
Yes. And Hitler lost, didn't he?
See, Cary Grant had a reason for becoming a homosexual. He had to defeat the Nazis.
I used to go into the men's room with little boys, but it was to fight Hitler.
It was a defensive position.
I took the defensive position. I'm not really gay. I took the defensive position.
Which one is that? Bent over a sink?
But we won, didn't we?
Hi, you're on the air.
God bless America.
God bless America.
And no one hears it.
Does he still have teeth?
Yeah, this is Mr. Wright.
Oh, hi. I'm sorry. Did we offend you?
Yeah, well,
Are you depressed?
Are you really depressed? If you're depressed, why don't you call Jim Jensen?
Are you rooming with Jim
panties
Jensen?
on their head.
If Jim Jensen went to the Hazleton Clinic, would Shirley Booth be there?
Howard,
Yeah.
I'm sitting, I wake up, I don't need to hear this.
Is it hot? What? You don't like it?
Howard, this morning I went out and I walked up to this restaurant, and it said breakfast served any time, so I walked in, and I ordered French toast in the Renaissance.
What do you say?
Yeah,
French toast in the Renaissance.
right there.
Yeah,
A Stephen Wrightism, if you will.
Yeah, I don't mind you calling it a Stephen Wright, but we can't understand what you're saying.
That may be
All right, but you got to give me an A+ for trying here, Howard.
If you call in as Stephen Wright and no one hears it or understands it,
Were you really Stephen Wright?
are you in the woods? And you go thud in the woods. You're on the air.
Howard?
Yeah.
I'd like to play an old NBC bit.
Okay.
It's called Vigilante, all right?
Vigil for Vigilante, as I remember.
Where there is no judge or jury, just Vigilante and his 45 caliber brand of justice. The Vigilante Show with Rusty the Bailiff. And now, Vigilante.
Hi, everyone. I'm Bernard Hugo Get. I'm the guy some people call Vigilante.
Maybe we weren't that funny at the NBC.
Well, no, I don't remember us being so funny. I remember us being more violent.
Yeah. It wasn't a funny show at NBC. It was just a violent show. It was more like me getting on and enraged and yelling and screaming at everyone. But it made for some good radio, some good violent radio. I don't know about people calling up and playing my old bits over the radio.
We could hardly hear it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind listening to that, but... You're on the air.
Howard,
Yeah. What's going on in Washington with the ratings, man? Let's get going on that.
I'm telling everybody about it.
This
And,
is
no-
Washington, by the way.
Well, I found
You guys are really starting to embarrass me. I thought everyone was going to be thrilled that I was back. And people don't even know I'm back.
Well, they had been begging us to come back.
Yeah. Howard, if you only came back. Well, I'm back.
Well, I've been listening 4 hours a day since you came on. Every day.
Really?
But not the right time of the day.
Yes. You listened the wrong time.
I listen to the morning shows at night. It's more relaxed that way.
I don't like to listen to morning radio in the morning, so I like to tune in at night.
Well, guess what? I found a copy of your album in my record collection.
Yeah, well, burn it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Here's what one woman said after she bought a copy of that years ago.
I've had enough. I've seen enough.
But I like the bit in the middle.
This is David Letterman. If you think if Mrs. David Letterman married Jim Jensen, do you think he'd be depressed? Do you think while he's at the Hazleton Clinic, Mrs. David Letterman will move into Jim Jensen's place?
Hey, Howard, for all down in Washington, who is Jim Jensen?
What if David Letterman was in a hang gliding accident, would Jim Jensen be upset? Jim Jensen is this guy who's been on TV for 25 years. He's been an anchorman.
Yeah.
And he's like he's almost like a Walter Cronkite for local news. A real upstanding, kind of like very conservative Mount Rushmore kind of looking guy.
His best thing is asking Bree Walker, the one with the deformed hands, if your parents knew you would come out like that, would they have gotten an abortion?
If I had didactylism of the hands.
Didactylism?
Whatever. What is that called?
I think it's the syndactylism.
If you had syndactylism and a combination didactylism and
no
syndactylism.
one was there to hear it.
And no one was there. No one was there to see your hands.
If you follow us there into the men's room and no one's there to see it.
Are you a homosexual?
Yes. Is that an unlawful act?
Jim Jensen is this guy who is just such a conservative, upstanding anchorman. He's not like one of the new goofy anchormen. He's not like that black guy you got. What's that guy called?
Jim Vance?
Jim Vance. Didn't he have a coke problem, too?
Yeah, he did a couple years ago.
But Jim Vance can't even read. I mean, Jim Vance gets a
But you
coke
could
problem.
look at Jim Vance and say, oh, I can believe he had a coke problem. You know, you wouldn't have been shocked.
You're right. When the news came out, everyone said, yes, so tell me something new.
Yeah.
But Jim Vance can't even read. I mean, he's not even like a good, solid anchorman. He's just, you know that he got the job because he's black. There's just no two ways about it. There is no doubt in anyone's. Black people call up to complain.
I think it's disgraceful. That's about the best thing we could get there for a black representative to do read the news.
I mean, the guy, you remember him, Robin? He couldn't even read.
I told you the first time I saw him, I said, what is my garbage man doing doing the news?
Jim Vance, a.k.a. Garbage Man.
Today on the news.
Why, looky here.
Well, in the local newspaper.
Today, some woman broke into David Letterman's house. Why, that be outrageous.
Today, a CAG agent was arrested for being in the men's room with some young sailor boy.
Where's the clip? Where's the clip of the Cary Grant with the young sailor boy? You got that there, boy?
Film at 11.
Play it. There, damn.
That's it. Fight those Nazis. Keep going. Keep going.
I'm gonna fight those damn Nazis, Judy.
Yes, we won the war, didn't we?
Nazis.
If I have to go into the men's room with 100 more sailors to fight in the war, I'll do it. To save us and protect freedom in our government.
Yeah.
So it's not like Jim Jensen when you say Jim Vance.
Yeah, think of Walter Cronkite and you think of Jim Jensen. So imagine this guy, and then all of a sudden it starts leaking out that he's got an alcohol problem because he's depressed. The first thing that leaked out was that he was depressed, so he went into a clinic. Then you find out it was alcohol and coke. Now you find out they had to fire him because they were afraid he was going to get on the air and do wacky stuff like he'd been doing in the halls of CBS. But nobody's talking as to what the wacky stuff was. Why, I don't know, because newsmen are usually so relentless in their pursuit of ruining everyone's private life. Why they won't ruin this guy's private life, I don't know. I figure
there's a moratorium where their lives are concerned.
And I think it's a lot worse because already we're imagining... Some guy called up and said that he worked at CBS and said Jensen was walking around with panties on his head, and we believed it.
Sure, sounds reasonable.
Because it's got to be something pretty wacky in order for them to give up a gold mine like Jim Jensen.
But probably not as bad as our imaginations.
Right. Hey, Gary, give me the number for Jim Jensen. What are you doing out there?
Why did he put the little straw hat on it now?
Oh, no.
What the hell would Jim have been doing at Channel 2?
To get thrown out of
And I like all the serious announcements, you know, Rollins Smith, who's stuck over at Channel 9.
Oh, yeah, he's feeling bad for Jim, who they kept.
Yeah, even though Jim's turned into a mental patient, they're still keeping him on the payroll. Rollins Smith, who can't even hold a job at CBS, he's now at Channel 9. He's sitting there going, the hell, at least I had my sanity.
Yeah, I used to come into work every day. They never had to worry about me.
Senior reporter?
I never ran through the halls of panties on my head.
I heard they're bringing Jim Jensen back as like a senior reporter. They're promoting him.
Yeah, they are. That's a promotion.
Naked with panties on his head.
You start doing wacky things in the halls, they promote you.
Well, see, that's the thing. Gilbert didn't hear the guy say at the end that he really didn't work for CBS. He thinks Jim Jensen was running around.
Right. See?
I just want to accept it.
If Jim Jensen wears panties on his head.
And no one's there to hear.
I bought a decaffeinated coffee table.
If Jim Jensen wears panties on his head, can he hear anything?
If Jim Jensen wears panties on his head and he walks through the halls and he can't hear anything, does that mean Does that mean that he can't hear when someone says something? If Jim Jensen paints his penis.
And he goes on the news and
If Jim Jensen makes love to Cary Grant naked. What the hell could Jim Jensen have been doing? Would
I
you
don't
tell
know.
me?
All I know is that, usually it's a career move when you announce that you've gone into the Betty Ford Clinic or you've beaten some drug problem.
Except if you're an anchorman.
And their ratings didn't go up.
No. Because you're going to tune in and he's not going to be there. And they're not going to say anything about it. If they got on the air and said tonight in an exclusive report, everything Jim Jensen had been doing in the halls at CBS to get him fired.
Or just Jim Jensen fell off the wagon today.
Jim Jensen needs a drink.
he was sleeping with Errol Flynn, was basically it.
No, we don't know what he was doing.
Do a special about it. You know how Bree did the special with the handicap because she had no arms?
Yeah.
Do the special.
Right.
Follow Jim around. See what he does.
Yeah. And what are
Jim
the
will do a
choices?
special on people who paint their penises.
Anyway, sir, does that clear it up for you?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Who's your anchor man again? Yeah, I know you got the black guy who can't read.
And Dave Marish.
Oh, he came from New York, yeah. The guy with the beard, the hippie. You remember
yeah,
that?
that guy.
So ugly.
Dave Marish was so ugly that they kept him as... He was a good reporter, but he was too ugly to be an anchorman, but he only wanted to be an anchorman. So they tried him out as anchorman, and it didn't work out. So he went down to Washington.
Yeah. Where they let him be an anchorman?
Yeah, he's an anchorman. He's the ugly anchorman. The ugly white anchorman. And then
So
you get the
ugly. Just really horrible to look at.
Yeah, there's some people who are disturbing to look at. Me, for example.
No, I saw you in the Letterman show when you were on like a month ago or however long ago it was, and you look pretty good.
Yeah, there were days I can look good.
But picture him doing the news. See,
Yeah.
that's frightening.
Yeah, if you saw me doing the news, hey, wouldn't that be kind of a cool thing if I was just a newscaster? If they slipped me in one night.
That would be funny.
I can't believe one of the channels has never selected me to like be a Cousin Brucey reporter type that goes out and reviews records and stuff. I mean, not that I would do it, but no one's ever approached me.
Yeah.
I find that kind of shocking. I find that shocking. Thank you. All right, dude, I gotta go.
Okay, bye.
Why don't we take a break and come back and have more fun?
At whose expense? Whose expense will it be next?
I can't give up on this Jim Jensen thing. You know, I asked Gary 3 times for the number of Jim Jensen.
Where is he? What is he
sucks.
doing?
He's the worst producer. There's no worse producer than Gary. And you know what? There's not one show that tries to steal him away. He hasn't gotten one job offer.
Now that's shocking.
Jackie went out to look for him.
You have not gotten one job offer to go to another show.
Well, not to another show, no.
You've gotten a job offer?
A bakery.
You got a job offer.
I did.
What was it? That MTV thing?
No, it's something different.
What?
I got a job offer to work on some pilots for be a talent coordinator on some pilots for a show that's going to be on MTV, but MTV's not producing it.
When did this happen?
Last week?
Oh, Steve Leeds?
Nope.
Who offered it to you?
Somebody over at William Morris hooked me up with it.
Wait a second. William Morris doesn't offer people work.
No. They hooked me up with these 2 guys that they.
Get out of here. What is this?
What were you going to do
come on.
for them?
Once he said William Morris got him work, then I knew there was something up.
I knew he was lying.
Yeah.
William Morris tried to sign me at one point. I had enough brains to stay away.
Yeah.
They were going to throw me off on some kid who was just starting out in the business, who was going to be my agent. Like, I'm going to be impressed. I don't get William Morris, or whoever the hell the head of the company
he's
is.
dead.
Yeah. I think Morris is still there. William, I think, died.
No, I'll tell you exactly what happened. This guy that I knew at William Morris has...
What a nice voice.
is representing his 2 clients.
Doesn't he have a pleasant speaking voice?
Hi. Hi, it's Gary here telling about my experience with William Morris.
And with the big teeth and the spit going all over the place? You have no enunciation.
But I'm not here to enunciate.
Say the rain in Spain.
The rain in Spain.
Say the sailor in the men's room.
Made love to Cary Grant.
The sailor in the men's room made love to Cary Grant.
And Errol Flynn knew nothing about it.
And Errol Flynn knew nothing about it.
Why don't you call that Jill? She'll know who, Jill Rappaport. She knows what, Jim Jensen's been doing in the bathroom.
She's not going to tell you.
She'll tell me. I'll talk to her.
Let Gilbert call her.
Yeah, do you have her number?
I'm surprised she hasn't done a report on
Let's
it.
call her up. I'll talk.
And now in celebrity news, our own Jim Jensen.
Hello. Hi.
Jim, stop it. Come on, come on. What were you doing in the halls that cost you your job at CBS?
Hi, I'm Jim Jensen, and here's my little pet penis. Hi, boys and girls.
And now here's my wife, Mrs. Jim Jensen.
I've had enough. I've seen enough.
Don't you think it is unfair that nobody got to ask Jim those questions when he had the right to ask Bree if her parents would abort her?
Don't you think it would have been fair to ask Jim Jensen some good questions, even though Bree never got to answer her questions? Yeah, so tell me about this job. Do I have to take a break?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, why don't we take a break, call Jim Jensen when we get back.
Okay.
Wish him well.
Yeah. Commiserate. Offer our condolences.
Yeah. You know, Jim, things aren't that... You know, Dean Martin's son crashed into a mountain and he recovered. I mean, not
Look at
well.
Joan Rivers.
Hey, look at Joan Rivers, Jim.
She had People magazine over the weekend, Edgar.
Yeah, she turned it into a career opportunity. And let's not, of course, forget to mention Rosanna Arquette. You know who her grandfather was? Charlie Weaver.
Yes.
That's right.
I got a letter from Mom.
You do. Don't tell me you do Charlie Weaver.
I got a letter from Mom, and Mama says that...
What about Wally Cox?
Oh, that's right. It's practically the same voice there.
Anyway, let me take a break, and then we'll be right back.
Turn into underdog and...
We'll be right back. Jim Jensen. Never mind our petty problems. I think this man has big problems. We're calling Minnesota, you know.
Big budget show.
I didn't realize he was in Minnesota.
Yeah, that's where the Hazelden Clinic is. Up in the woods somewhere. So if Jim Jensen falls.
If the Hazelton Clinic is in Minnesota, does that mean?
And no one answers the phone. Jim Jensen can't talk now. He's playing with his penis.
That's the first thing they're weaning him of.
Of his penis?
His weenie.
Good morning, Hazelden.
Good morning. This is Howard Stern.
This is Gilbert Gottfried.
And Robin Quivers and the whole morning show. We're on the radio. Please don't say anything dirty. I'm calling to speak with Jim Jensen.
I'm sorry, but federal regulations prohibit me from making any comment regarding the presence or non-presence of any person who may or may not be...
No, I understand that, but it's okay to put me through.
He knows us.
He knows us. He said it was all right.
If you have reason to believe this particular person is at Hazelden, I'd suggest that you write a letter.
But I'm Gilbert Gottfried. I'm famous. You can tell me.
I'm sorry.
Is Jim shaking too much to come to the phone? He's probably nervous. I understand that.
We'd like to know what Jim Jensen was doing in the hole.
Thank you for calling.
I understand. No, I understand what you're saying. In other words, you know, Gilbert, it was your voice that turned her off. I can usually get them going for 20 minutes. I didn't even get to ask her what B. Arthur is really like.
Or what job Jim Jensen had.
Yeah.
She sounded very snooty. I didn't like her.
I want to know if Michael J. Fox was funny in person.
We should call back and apologize.
The FCC regulates that? Since when does the FCC regulate that?
No, she just said federal regulation.
Oh, federal regulation. When does the government regulate? There's no government regulation. Get out of here with that. We'll wait till somebody else comes on duty. She's too uptight. My God.
She was a little too snooty for my taste.
I didn't like her attitude.
No.
How do you get a call there?
We should call back and ask for her supervisor.
Yeah. We don't like the way we were handled.
We called up before very nicely. We were asking about Jim Jensen's penis, and that girl on the phone would not put us through.
We'd like to lodge a complaint.
All right, why don't I call back? Yeah, Gilbert, you came on too strong.
I know, I'm sorry.
Did you think Gilbert came on too strong, Robin?
Yeah, I think you've got to go the route of, you know, just... Hey, I'm a problem person here.
You have to talk like Stephen Wright.
See, if you did your Stephen Wright impression, that would work.
By the way, Gary, my only advice to you is go for a job with an incredible dental plan.
Well, all my work is done, Stephen.
Oh, yeah. That's debatable. If all of Gary's teeth are done...
No, what he's saying is they gave up.
No.
They gave up mid-job.
If his work is done, they just gave up.
Hello? Hazelton? Oh.
Let it ring, Howard. That's how the phone works.
Yes, good morning. It's Howard Stern again. Please don't hang up. I'm on the radio. We're on the radio. I just want to... Can I talk to your supervisor about a press interview? Because I also have a drinking problem. So I want to talk about the drink... You ever hit a woman in the stomach, Doctor?
Well, yes, a few times, because I felt it was necessary.
I'm sorry to keep you so long. Hello?
Yes.
Gary Hesness will talk with you. Just a moment, please.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay.
Who? Gary Crosby, I think.
Hello?
Hi, we're on for that big fat pig Al Roker, but I couldn't get the words out. I just...
Now, this guy's on a liquid diet, and he's maintaining his weight.
Yeah.
I think that's incredible.
What liquid is he drinking? Cement?
Keeping his weight up nicely.
Al Roker's been on a liquid diet now for what has to be 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
And he's fatter than ever and chalkier than ever.
The liquid washes down all the cake he's eating.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness. I'm telling you, he's no real good advertisement.
What liquid is that, beer? Oh, God, I started crying during that. It's the
Yeah,
funniest
everybody just disappeared. Everybody fell out of their chairs.
thing. Robin, I had snot dripping out of my nose.
Yeah, I saw you reaching for the joy roll.
Have you ever seen me lose like that?
No. And I'm like, now what must this? The doctor's breaking up.
Yeah. The doctor's doing Lauren Tweez, and no, it was the Merry Mailman, I think. Oh, man.
I cannot confirm or deny that she got
was it.
fan mail. I can't believe it.
Now, Lauren, and then you said that, so did she receive an email? No.
No.
No. Did Joey receive any fan mail? No. But I okayed it. It was all right for her to receive mail. She just didn't get any.
Unfortunately, she didn't get it.
Anybody get the feeling like they've drilled that confirm or deny thing into them, like, from day one when they worked
Sounds
there?
almost like they were tortured, you know.
It sounds almost like they were reading it from a sheet of paper.
You know, like these people don't crack under any kind of pressure.
We cannot confirm or deny it. From now on, that's our answer to anything.
Yeah, we do not confirm or deny.
Yeah, watch. Got a question?
Yes.
Gilbert Gottfried Clinic.
Good morning.
What's your question?
Yes, I'm trying to reach Howard Stern.
Yes.
We cannot confirm or deny that Howard Stern is at this number.
We can tell you that you're on the phone, though.
Yeah, I'm fully aware of that. I've been listening to the program most of the morning. I've been listening to Howard for as long as I've been in New York, 10 years now.
Well, again, I can't confirm or deny whether or not he's here.
understand that, Howard.
If indeed Howard Stern were here, I'm sure he'd be glad to hear that, but we can't confirm or deny his existence at this particular radio station.
Or his existence anywhere, for that matter.
Well, there is nothing funny about alcoholism.
Well, we agree with you. I think we can agree there.
I can't confirm or deny that.
Deny that?
Oh, what's
Wait.
the matter, sir? Can't handle a drink?
Hey, come on. You don't laugh when Foster Brooks comes on the Dean Martin show.
Sir, we hit a sore spot with you. What, did you have an alcohol problem?
I'm a recovering alcoholic myself.
Oh, so we can't make it. You mean, in other words, you've been listening to this show for so many years, and everything's found funny until
Except alcoholism?
No, you misinterpret what I'm saying. What I'm actually saying is that Mr. Jensen, who has the love of many, many New Yorkers, is going through a personal trial at the moment, and I don't really think it's something to joke about.
Oh, he can't hear us.
What's he going to know? He's in Minnesota somewhere.
What
They
about
won't
Otis
confirm or
on the
deny
Andy
that?
Griffith show? You didn't think he was funny? Hey, Andy.
What about Arthur? Yeah.
Hey, what about Arthur Dudley Moore? You didn't find that funny?
No, not particularly.
Well, you're a real Jim Jensen fan, huh?
Not so much as Jim Jensen. Jim Jensen happens to be a personal friend of mine.
Sir, why don't you get a sense of humor? Lighten up.
No.
Did you say Jim Jensen was a personal friend of yours?
Look, why don't we meet for a drink?
Oh, wait a second. Hey, do you happen to know what Jim was doing in the halls of Channel 2?
No, as a matter of fact, I don't.
What do you mean you're a personal friend
wait.
of Jim Jensen?
I'm a personal friend of Jim Jensen.
How did you meet him?
We met at CBS, as a matter of fact.
You were a co-worker?
No.
Oh. So what, were you like on a tour or something, and you said, hey, Jim, and he answered back, and now you're a personal friend?
No. I was interviewed by him, actually.
And you've been to his house?
No.
Then you're not a personal friend.
You were interviewed by him, and now you call yourself personal friend?
Wait, about what were you interviewed?
The theater, actually.
The theater?
Yes, believe it or not.
Well, you're in the theater?
Yes.
Are you gay?
No, I'm not. I'm married. I have 2 children.
Obvious beard.
So is Rock Hudson.
That's right. So is Cary Grant.
Yeah.
But
I was doing it for the government.
In all seriousness,
So, Jim, wait a second. You strike me as particularly odd. First of all, that kooky voice of yours and the bad connection aren't helping things. But,
Sounds like a bad Vincent Price imitation.
but what's even scarier about you is that you were interviewed by Jim Jensen once, and you call him a personal friend.
we met several times. I was interviewed by him initially. We met several times afterward.
Oh, you did?
Yes, we did.
Where?
Ah.
In the back of your van?
Did you think this helped defeat Hitler?
Pardon?
If Jim Jensen's in the back of a van with one of the people he interviews. No, come on. Now, what do you mean? You went out with him afterwards a couple of times? What, for drinks?
We.
Oh, boy.
Yes, coffee, actually, yes.
So what was it? Did Jim reveal any of his personal demons to you?
No.
So...
We spoke...
what do you mean? You were being interviewed by Jim Jensen, and then afterwards, what did you say? Hey, let's get together sometime?
Actually, it was a mutual thing, as a matter of fact.
It's kind of weird, because I have listeners say that to me all the time, and I tell them to buzz off.
Yeah, really, let's get together.
No wonder Jim was kooky, wasn't he?
No, he's not. On the contrary, he's a very, very gentle man, as you alluded to earlier, and you're quite right.
Yeah, we know he's gentle.
He was comatose.
But in all seriousness, though, there really is nothing funny about alcoholism. It's a killer disease. It really is.
Oh, so we can't laugh about it.
No, I don't mean you can't laugh about it.
No, so we can laugh about it.
Well, make up your mind.
We're just doing it
You're
because we
confusing
see the
us.
pain.
Right, we're trying. You know what it is, sir? Through humor, we're trying to ease the pain of all alcoholics. Don't you see that?
Well, there's no humor in alcoholism. It's really.
Oh, now there is no humor, but you can laugh
Well,
at
wait
it.
a minute. Come on, you guys tell some pretty good stories. Your drunk stories.
Ever pee in a phone booth, sir? I think that's pretty funny.
That is pretty good.
What, you mean there's nothing funny about weak individuals who can't control their drinking?
It's nothing to do with control. It's a disease.
Oh, it's a disease.
Oh, it's not a disease. Sneezing is a disease.
Yeah, a cold is the
Hey,
disease.
that's a disease, man.
Drinking is someone who...
Yes, can I have a drink?
Drinking is something that you can cure very easily. It's called button your mouth and stop drinking.
Well, you might as well say that about overeating.
That's
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
true.
don't
Stay
eat.
Sure.
Don't eat and you'll lose weight.
Yeah. Lay off that pastrami.
Sir, really, are you for real?
I am very much for real.
So where did you and Jim go?
We would go to a restaurant.
Yeah, and what would you do? You sit there and eat? And drink?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we did.
You did? And what would Jim do? Start sobbing about all his personal problems?
No, this is the total misconception.
He goes, so, being a newscaster, I am in a very lonely profession.
You know, I've been married like 3 times.
It's this disease that I have.
I don't know. I drink because I look over and I see those no hands. Oh, God almighty.
Oh, it's like a nightmare.
It's like a nightmare. Those lumps of skin.
One minute I'm looking and there's no hands. The next minute the girl's cross-eyed. I don't know what's going on.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
how bad do you want to drink?
No,
Because
truthfully,
after talking to you, I need a drink.
through the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, I have arrested my drinking problem, and many
Oh, you
millions of
arrested
others have. And it's through that program that
What did he say?
He arrested his drinking problem.
What did Jackie say?
How much was the fine?
Sir, did you ever watch The Love Boat?
You know, Lauren Tweez had a drinking problem.
Well, there are many personalities, celebrities have had this problem and have. Melanie Griffith is a case in point.
So do you know Melanie Griffith? Did she interview you and you became
Well,
personal
then how
friends?
do you know she has this problem?
What do you do in the theater? You're an actor?
Yes.
Oh, you are? Have we seen you in anything?
No.
I was drunk at the time.
If a man is an actor and you don't see him in anything, is he an actor? So why would, what did Jim Jensen interview about? Being an actor but not being in anything?
No, they interviewed me about my involvement with a particular drama group.
He talked about Joey Heatherton for an
A
hour.
particular group? A
Yes.
drama group?
Yes.
So you're in a drama group and you have no work?
Well, it's a non-profit organization.
No wonder you're drinking. I would drink too if I was
Where
in
do you get the
profession.
money?
Pardon? I work a regular job. I'm a decorator by trade.
Oh, you're a decorator.
Uh-huh.
Interior decorator?
I decorate my
Interior
carpet when I come home at 3 in the morning. No, just
I like to vomit all over my rug.
I like to put little pieces of carrots on my carpet. I think what this carpet needs is some carrots and I think it needs some half-digested pretzels and carrots.
Beer nuts.
What is it, Gary?
We're getting some great phone calls in the office. Too bad you can't do the show from there. Everything from, like, Jim Jensen spottings to, like, threatened lawsuits.
Lawsuits? Why?
Right down to a guy who swears that he just looked at Jim Jensen's apartment last week because it's up for sale.
Oh, yeah?
He says he was walking through there and there were all biblical phrases written on papers all over the apartment.
Really?
Like the Omen.
No.
Oh, Beelzebub. You can't can't sue someone for making fun of a news story. What kind of dopey thing is that?
Well, there's a guy that just calls us and threatens to sue us no matter what we say.
Yeah, that guy calls every day. Maintains he's a lawyer.
No, your show is extremely, extremely funny. I really, I listen to you religiously every day. You're very, very funny.
What were you sober when you thought it was funny?
You know, Jim Jensen was a fan of our show. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't know that, actually.
You never talked to him about that?
No.
You guys never sat around and talked about the show?
The reason he listened is he couldn't get up and change the channel.
Yeah. He was too drunk.
He was holding on to the floor at the time.
Oh, gee.
Did he ever mention his son's hand gliding accident?
We discussed that, as a matter of fact.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
So did you know that Jim was getting depressed?
At the time we spoke, no. We just discussed the...
This guy's some judge of character.
Yeah.
Listen to this guy. If you talk to him, wouldn't you get depressed?
He sounds like Stephen Wright.
Yeah. At the time we talked, he was really depressed, but as soon as I left the room, he got happy.
He was drunk at the time. I don't know what he seemed like.
At the time, I don't know who was worse, me or him.
I don't know what happened.
Well, the only thing, my basic reason for calling was just to stress the fact that one does not need to come from the Bowery to be an alcoholic.
Right, well,
No, but it sure does help.
no, but
Sure does make it easier, don't it?
in all seriousness, 3 hours later, in all seriousness, that's the movie. I didn't want to tell you what it was, the Jim Jensen story.
Oh, that's what you've been working on.
Oh, Jesus, do I have to go do another newscast? And look at those hands. I need a drink. I think Michelle Marsh's hair is evaporating.
I can see it growing.
Sometimes it appears to be growing, sometimes it appears to be shrinking.
Michelle's got that weird smile. I can't stand it.
And the black girl, her
Michelle, what's she smiling at?
What is she, a Cheshire cat? I need a drink. Give me some blow. Give me something. Oh, that CBS eye is staring at me. Oh.